Hello, and welcome to the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development's, or GO-Biz's, COVID-19 webinar. Now and always, we appreciate your partnership as we work to meet this moment together. This webinar will be one of multiple we plan to provide to the economic development community as we work to share the most recent information and resources available to our California businesses, as well as the work we're doing to address the COVID-19 epidemic. Before we begin, we want to thank you all for your tireless energy and effort as you assist your communities. We would also like to remind you about our GO-Biz newsletter, which goes out every Friday. We encourage you to sign up to receive this newsletter as more information is shared during this quickly changing time. On this webinar, you'll hear updates from our Office of the Small Business Advocate, Business Investment Services, International and Sustainable Freight and Goods Movement teams on resources, guidance, and state actions taken to assist businesses impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Isabel Guzman, our Director of the Office of the Small Business Advocate, will update us on how her team is assisting in the COVID-19 response effort. She'll also share information on the financial resources available for our small business community.
Thank you so much, Caitlin, and thank you to all of you who are listening. We know how incredibly busy you all are supporting the needs of businesses in your communities, and I just want to acknowledge the tremendous efforts you are taking today to gain insights on programs and partner with us to help the communities and businesses that you serve access resources they need during this time of COVID-19. The state's 4 million small businesses represent 99.8% of all businesses in the state and employ 48.8% of the state's private workforce. This is why they are referenced as the backbone of our economy, and it's critical that we help them to connect to resources. Cal OSBA's mission is to help support economic growth and innovation by supporting California small businesses with resources, advocating on their behalves, and helping them achieve greater resilience. During this unprecedented COVID-19 response, we have been working diligently to ensure business owners have access to the most up-to-date information to take advantage of government programs and financial relief during COVID-19. We have developed a business response team across GO-Biz units to respond to individual requests, participated in numerous community webinars and educational forums, partnered to develop programs and initiatives. We are tracking new resources daily and have developed a comprehensive listing of the state's actions and resources at business.ca.gov to share them with you. And we have launched a rapid response virtual series featuring the Entrepreneurship Task Force members, which is a group of diverse and successful ambassadors of entrepreneurship and small business who are sharing insights, information, and strategies on how to respond to this situation. We invite you to engage with us, follow us, and join upcoming Spanish and English sessions that we are featuring with the Entrepreneurship Task Force. Above all, please know that the state of California funds a network of small business centers, which are critical to our offerings and help us ensure that small businesses and entrepreneurs have someone local to advise them about the resources and special COVID-19 programs that are available federally, statewide, locally, and in the private markets. I know many of you already partner with these centers. They include the Small Business Development Centers, the Women's Business Centers, the Minority Business Development Centers, the Veterans Centers, the Procurement Centers, and other federally contracted centers. These centers have experienced advisors who can help businesses figure out which loans or programs are best for them. They can help them develop adaptive and resilient strategies and find other resources. In order to find the closest center to your community, you can go to our interactive map at business.ca.gov/centers to find the center that's appropriate for the business you're serving. Finally, I would like to highlight a few recently announced state programs for California businesses. I'm going to run through these points quickly, but please know that you can go to covid19.ca.gov to look up the details. Early on, the governor announced measures for financial and tax relief, including franchise tax board tax filing and payment extensions through July 15th, 90-day mortgage payment forbearance by many banks for consumers. You should contact your lenders for that. a moratorium on residential evictions through May 31st, and a call for local governments to implement commercial renter protections as well. And to date, LA, Marin, San Francisco, San Luis Obispo, San Mateo, Santa Barbara, Santa Clara, Santa Cruz, and the cities of Fresno, Long Beach, Oakland, Sacramento, and Santa Ana have implemented specific measures. We encourage you to contact your local governments to find out more. Again, all of these details are located at covid19.ca.gov, and we encourage you to track actions there. On federal programs first, wanted to share a little bit about the lending programs. As many of you may have heard, federal funding for key small business lending programs has run out. While it is unclear if these programs will be funded again, I would like to provide a brief overview and share information in the event these or similar programs are funded in future stimulus. It's important that businesses are aware and meet with their lenders so that they're prepared to act quickly if future funding is made available. First off, the SBA's Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, offered low-cost, forgivable loans for employers up to $10 million with the intent that they retain workforce. These were available through participating banks, credit unions, nonprofit lenders, and more recently, online fintech companies. While the SBA is not taking any loan application at all, some lenders may continue to process in case funds become available. So it's important that you take it on a case-by-case basis with each lender, but encourage businesses to find a lender that they can work with or visit a small business center in our network to review the options. SBA's economic injury disaster loans, or the EIDL loans, are also closed as of April 16th. EIDL loans are deployed for all disasters. Those are the loans that are direct from the SBA up to $2 million. This is the program as well that the SBA had been awarding advance grants up to $10,000, which did not have to be repaid and were based on number of employees. So it is unclear if additional funds will be given to support this program or the advance grants, but we would encourage you to continue to track it. You might hear as well in the coming days references to alternatives at the federal level for small businesses now that PPP and EIDL are depleted. Have heard reference that the U.S. Treasury's Main Street Lending Program could be an option that was funded at $600 billion and is also available through banks. While it is meant for medium and large firms up to 10,000 employees, firms under 500 can apply if they meet the criteria. And the criteria will probably be challenging for most small businesses. It's basically that the loan amount plus the borrower's existing outstanding and committed but undrawn debt does not exceed 4 times the borrower's 2019 earnings. So basically, with a $1 million minimum loan size, a small business would have to have zero debt plus $250,000 in EBITDA, or debt with higher EBITDA. So that calculation is going to be difficult for most small businesses, but it is still available. In addition, small businesses who took advantage of the Paycheck Protection Program can still apply for this as well. So we encourage you to track updates at the federal level to learn more about shifts in these programs. We will post at business.ca.gov as well as we hear of anything coming down the pike. The state recognizes that regardless of additional PPP funding or EIDL or some other new program, that not all small businesses in California will be able to successfully access federal programs. In order to provide immediate relief, the governor did recently launch 2 important programs. One was through the CDTFA, the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, which launched a new program to allow small business taxpayers, those with less than $5 million in taxable annual sales, to take advantage of a 12-month interest-free payment plan, and that was for up to $50,000 of sales and use tax liability. So in effect, it could serve as a bridge loan until a federal loan could be secured, or for some other purposes in terms of cash flow management. This is something that would need to be applied for through cdtfa.ca.gov, but it was on top of the automatic extension on sales tax granted through July 15th for small businesses who qualified, basically those filing a return under $1 million. While on top of the taxes, of course, as referenced previously, of course, the FTB extended the filing payment deadline to July 15th, but the additional extension that can be granted is on state payroll taxes. So those those extensions could also be granted through edd.ca.gov. The governor also announced a new capital assistance program for businesses, specifically targeting those that do not qualify or are not eligible for federal funds typically. And so this was a focus on low wealth individuals that may not qualify, or undocumented immigrant businesses who may not have the necessary documentation, but yet still have a business entity. And so in order to address those California businesses, the governor allocated $50 million to the Small Business Finance Center at California's iBank. And that was basically to fund the Small Business Disaster Relief Loan Guarantee Program, which is an existing program, but the focus was going to be on microloans up to $50,000 at low rates. That program, you can find more information about it at ibank.ca.gov as it's rolled out. The California Treasurer's Office also has the CalCap program, which is a small business loan program as well, and that is available through CDFIs and other lenders, and more information can be found at the State Treasurer's website as well. The one other thing I wanted to mention is just benefits for employers. There is a work sharing program run out of EDD for employers who are facing reduced production or services or other conditions, causing them to seek an alternative to layoffs. And then the pandemic unemployment assistance program is also going to be made available soon for independent contractors or those small businesses, self-employed businesses. So they should look into that program to see if they are eligible. So Labor, I know, is finalizing these programs at this time, so visit their website at labor.ca.gov to track that program and more information. Again, we recognize that all of this is a lot to balance for small businesses. It's a lot of information, so we encourage you all to partner with our centers as well. Again, business.ca.gov/centers, or contact us at osba@gobiz.ca.gov. Keep in mind that we are regularly updating our website where you can get more details. You can reach out to get assistance from us directly or look for a webinar, just to make sure that you stay informed, to share these programs with your businesses and your community so that they can access any federal stimulus or other state programs. Again, thank you and appreciate your time. I'd like to now turn it over back to my colleague, Caitlin Lewis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caitlin. As many of you know, on March 19th, Governor Gavin Newsom issued a stay-at-home order to protect the health and well-being of all Californians and to establish consistency across the state to slow the spread of COVID-19. The order identifies certain services as essential. These services can continue in order to maintain continuity of operation of the federal critical infrastructure sectors. We encourage you to refer to the list of essential infrastructure workers on the GO-Biz COVID-19 website. This list is subject to updates, and if yours is a business not on the list, please contact our office with your questions. We recommend that you check these links at regular intervals as guidance continues to evolve. At this point, the state of California does not issue waivers, permits, or protocols to identify essential versus non-essential. We encourage you to work with your local county and/or city officials for any further guidance on these questions. Which brings me to the next topic. I know a number of you have already been contacted by manufacturers in your area that want to help support or contribute. If there are companies that have reached out to you sharing that they can make needed products, please refer those companies to the state's COVID-19 website. The state has developed an online portal to have companies submit information about what resources can be contributed. The link is here, covid19supplies.ca.gov. On this portal, you will also find a specifications guide for needed medical supplies that has been provided, by the California Department of Public Health. This guide can be accessed under the What Resources Are You Offering section. Here is a link to the PDF specifications document that has been posted at covid19supplies.ca.gov/specs_2020-0330b.pdf. GO-Biz is currently working with the Office of Emergency Services and other state partners to provide guidance to help manufacturers with the intent of pivoting to produce other goods. There are a number of moving parts and supply chain considerations to pivot successfully, so we ask for your patience in getting those interested involved and mobilized in a targeted way. Governor Newsom also announced the launch of an online resource website to assist those whose income has been affected by COVID-19. The website, onwardca.org, will help the recently displaced access emergency resources, training for new job skill sets, and connections to employers seeking people to employ. We encourage you to share this portal with your network.
Thanks, Kaina. And now you'll hear from Max Oltersdorf, Deputy Director of our International Affairs and Trade Unit, to give an update on the impacts to international business and other relevant updates from his team.
Thank you, Caitlin. Before I begin, I would like to again recommend that everyone sign up for our GO-Biz newsletter, which is released every Friday and shares the most up-to-date announcements and resources available during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I'd like to provide an update on international business and what we're doing to try to mitigate some of the impact. First of all, it's important to note that, according to the Port of LA, as the Chinese economy gets back up to capacity, additional ships will be sailing to California ports. For exporters in California, this means more containers available for shipping and more ships leaving port. In addition, the folks who help get goods to the ports and from the ports remain essential. In fact, on Wednesday, April 1st, Governor Newsom shared a tweet thanking all logistics workers for their tireless and dedicated efforts. Our border with Mexico remains open. However, tourism and other non-essential travel is not allowed. Goods, workers, and trade continues to happen through our southern border. It's also worth noting that the emergency programs from the SBA that Isabel talked about earlier are based on where the business is incorporated, and the application does not include questions about whether the owner is an American citizen or legal resident. We're here to help foreign business owners navigate the various relief programs that may be available to them and that could provide support. Additionally, for those interested in our State Trade Expansion Program, also known as the STEP program, please visit californiaexport.org. Funding is available through this program to help companies with their export expansion efforts. We have many companies right now utilizing the program to support their e-commerce efforts. They are also using the program to internationalize their websites with search engine optimization and translation. If you are interested in learning more, we are happy to connect you to Diana Dominguez in our office, who administers the program. As we continue to share real-time changes, we would also like to share that Select USA, the Foreign Direct Investment Conference in Washington, D.C., will not take place this year. We look forward to the next event, and if you are planning on participating with us, please contact our office for information on refunds. Lastly, we are in close contact with our state's consular corps. They have been amazing in offering support to us during this pandemic, and I particularly want to call out the Mexican consulates and the Chinese consulates, both of which have provided offers of masks and other key medical supplies as we all meet this moment together. Thank you to everyone on this webinar for your continued partnership. Once again, we recommend that you sign up for our newsletter, and please do not hesitate to reach out to our office with any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thanks, Max. That concludes our COVID-19 update presentation, one of many we plan to have to make sure we're keeping you up to date with the latest information from our office. We can't thank you enough for being so responsive and eager to work with us to find targeted and sustainable solutions in the midst of this epidemic, and we hope you and your families are safe and in good health. In this slide, you'll see a summary of the resource links that we have been referencing on this webinar. Again, as we have stated multiple times in this presentation, please check these links regularly as they are continuously updated. If you have any questions or want to reach out, please do. Contact information for the GO-Biz specialists is on this slide. We hope you all are safe, healthy, and in good spirits. Until next time, thank you and goodbye.